Hello, y'all. I am back again for another live. And of course, I've been doing the narcissist and text messaging. I've already done part one, part two, part three, part four. So this is going to be part five to narcissist and text messaging. And all of them have been lives. So I understand that some people are not in here right now. So they will watch the live later. So the unaware narcissist. So I've talked about the unaware narcissist. You will have to go back and watch the narcissist and text messaging part one, two, three, four to get all the details. However, just to give you a brief summary, the unaware narcissist is the gentleman that I've known for decades and decades, never was intimate with the man. I have turned this man away, turned him down, going on 5 years now. And he actually, in a passive aggressive way, I went over this in one of the videos where he was willing to use a pretty little black girl. And I confirmed that he was in his mind comparing her to me before I assassinated his character on these videos. So I asked him, I said, what made you send me that video? So I went over that in parts one, two, three, four. Whichever video I was in, go check those videos out. You know, the thing is, when you're watching different parts, the videos, I will go back to back in the day when there was soap operas. So people was willing to abandon their kids, their dogs, and everything not to miss a soap opera. Now, I'm not asking you to do that. What I'm saying is that when you miss parts of a ongoing story, you miss part of the story, so you don't get the best perspective, and it may not help you as much. So in narcissist in text messaging part four, at the end of the video, in the last half of that video, 50% in, 60, 70, 80 at the end of that video, and within 50% in, I use example three, which was the unaware narcissist. So I mentioned that he was hoovering me by phone, contacting me by phone. And I also mentioned that with the unaware narcissist, I don't handle them like an aware narcissist. I don't tell them what they're doing. So with the unaware narcissist, I just play completely dumb. I allow them to think I'm not intelligent. I allow them to think or feel that I'm not picking up on the passive aggressive attacks, while I consistently go in a no contact with them. Unaware narcissists, I have no interest in going around them for anything. They're in unawareness, right? So why would I really want to be around somebody that really don't even know they self enough? So I also mentioned he claims he's an Aries. He had mentioned, years ago, he sent me this list of things that you got to do to be with an Aries, a list of things you got to do to be with him. It's just a big nightmare. So I ended the narcissist and text messaging part four with letting you know that he would not text me. He's going to try to commit psychological warfare through the phone contact. However, the problem with that is I did not answer the phone. He contacted me at 6:45 p.m. before I did that live on Saturday. Okay. And so yesterday he contacts me again. Okay. So he's done 2 phone calls. Now, in one of the videos, I gave y'all over 20 reasons of things that would happen. You got to hear this out, y'all. Don't go nowhere. I gave, unless you have to, if you got to go to work, just watch it later. Or you got something to do. I understand you got stuff to do. So, I gave you a list of over 20 things that this unaware narcissist would do if I gave him a chance. Number 4 on the list is he would call the police. Guess what, y'all? You ain't gonna believe it. Guess what he threatened me with? I didn't answer 2 of his calls. So I'm not answering his calls. Because after 5 years of me turning him down, he's pissed now. Subconsciously, even if he don't recognize the anger, he feels very disrespected. Okay. So he sends me this text at 8:56 p.m. yesterday, and he says, "Are you okay? I'm getting concerned. I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check." Let me read this text again from this unaware narcissist. And first of all, are you okay? He don't care if I'm okay or the prior abuse victims that he think he have the right to abuse because they dark skin and because they got herpes, all this horrible stuff he said about these exes. Just within the past few months, one lady he told to get the fuck out of his house. Kind lady, wasn't doing anything to him. Okay. He also mentioned to me that during intercourse, when his ex-wife was in pain decades and decades ago, he asked her, he said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I went over that in the videos. Okay, so I'm just refreshing you on a couple of things so you understand. So when a man treats ladies that way, or if it was the opposite way around, the other way around, if a lady was treating a man like this, either way, but in my case, I'm a lady, this is a man. Are you okay? With a question mark. This man don't give a damn if I'm okay. He really doesn't. And he does not care if his prior victims are okay. The bottom line is I prevented ensnarement. I didn't go in that man's house. He also lied when Daniel was in his situation. He said he would come visit Daniel and never did. So I don't forget lies when people say they're going to do something for my children and don't do it. But Daniel was fine. Daniel got a big brother and me. Daniel really don't need this narcissist, okay, this unaware narcissist. He says, "I'm getting concerned." He's not getting concerned. This unaware narcissist that I've turned down for 5 years, he doesn't understand why I turned him down because he thinks he's smarter than me. He thinks he's more dangerous than me. I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check. First of all, when he attempted to come to my house more than once, I would not let him know where I lived. So how the fuck is he going to do a welfare check? Which, let me educate you, he still can, because the police have the current phone number and address for me. So because me and him live in the same state, this unaware narcissist, he could call the police and say, "I want to do a welfare check on Irene." But this is the thing with this. Let me tell you who know me better than this unaware narcissist. It's the police department, right? So say he got one of the seasoned officers to return the call. The police department know me better. In the suburb where I live, the police department, they know me. I keep in regular contact with the police department. Y'all done seen my lives. I have to call the police when Elijah get out of pocket. You watch my lives. So, or if you haven't, you need to. So Elijah is my relative, of course, but I'll call the police on anybody. So the police is aware of me. So the unaware narcissist says, "I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check." So he's asserting control over me. Okay. Now, I told y'all, I gave you over 20 reasons in one of the videos why I would not get with this man. Number 4 reason that I gave you was he would be calling the police on my sons. Another reason was that he would be filing restraining orders against me and my sons. He would be throwing us out of his house. Now, look, I'm telling y'all, listen to me. I, at this point, can predict the future of some of these relationships. I told y'all this man would be calling the police. He's doing it, and I didn't even give him a chance. He's threatening the police on me. Now, how did I react to this? For one, this is what you need to do. Okay, and I went over this with this block. You can block people all you want, but you will be denied of learning strategy. In the era that I was raised in, we didn't have block. So everybody is kind of like a borderline gangster because we understand strategy. Your cognitive thinking is higher. Your IQ will be higher. You will be more intellectual because you will learn strategy. So, and he's only called me twice. He's called me Saturday at 6:45 p.m. And then he called me Sunday, which was yesterday. So how do I react to this? Well, for one, I already have my phone in do not send red confirmations. So I'm going to advise you something. Since this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 5, my advice to you is this. Go in your personal text messages, and anyone that you're doing any personal text with, I always put mine in don't send the red confirmation. So what you would do, you would go to click on the little dots. You go in that individual text message stream. You go to that person's phone number and you click on the little dots in the right-hand corner. And I can click send red confirmation, but I have him on not sending it. So if I want to start sending him confirmation that I read his text, then I can click on send red confirmation, but I have him in the status of don't send it. Therefore, it triggered this because he's not knowing if I'm reading his texts or getting his calls. Then I get this, I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check. Now, the worst thing I can do is respond to this. I'm not going to return his call and I'm not going to respond to the text because I have to have empathy for this man. 5 years is enough to turn somebody down. If I know for sure that I do not want to be this man's friend and go around him, and I know he wants to do more than just talk on the phone, if I have real empathy, I should disconnect from him. I went over that in Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 4. I've also created a playlist. I'm not going to keep hurting somebody and emotionally harming somebody. It don't matter whether they a narcissist or not. It doesn't give me a right to keep emotionally hurting somebody. So I'm going to ghost him and go no contact because now he wants to start psychological warfare. So he wants to start psychological warfare. Okay. He tried to do it through the text messaging when he sent me the Instagram of the little pretty little black girl that he was trying to use me or compare me to because she saved 5,000. And I asked him what prompted him to send me that video. So that's how I know for sure. I'm not assuming this. I'm not using my intuition. He said it out of his own mouth that he's comparing me to her. This is what he claimed because years ago we had a discussion on saving money and my desire was to save more. Okay. But he's also assuming that I have not saved any money, and he should not be assuming that because he's not going to the bank with me. Okay. But an unaware narcissist, they will, if you was 5 years old and you didn't have shoes and you was walking through the desert with no shoes on at 5 years old, now since you 50, an unaware narcissist, or you 60, 70, or 40, or 30, you 25 now, that unaware narcissist still views you as the little kid that's walking through the desert with no shoes. They always think you in the same position that you was in when they knew something about you. And it's just not true. People's situations change over time. This man don't know if I got 50 $1,000 in the bank. He don't know anything about me. And it don't matter. I'm not married to this man. I don't want this man. So, and I'm also going to start a stream on passive aggressive intelligence and understanding what someone is saying to you passive aggressively. And I will start here. So when this unaware narcissist says, I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check. So this is what he's saying. He's saying that I have no protectors. As y'all know, I don't live alone. Okay. I also don't live with 4-year-olds. Okay. So I live with my relatives. Okay. So when he says, I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check, what he's saying in a passive aggressive way, he's saying a lot by saying that statement. So in passive aggressive language, they're saying a little bit, but really saying a lot. So what he's saying is, I don't have protectors. So I missed out because I didn't pick him. Because see, he's the one that's going to call and do a welfare check on me. Okay. So I have no protectors, according to him. And this is part of why he targeted me. He doesn't view me as having protectors. He views myself and my sons as people that he could literally beat the shit out of if we moved in his house. He perceives no danger from myself or my sons. He just doesn't. So he's saying a little, but he's saying a lot. So I guess when Isaiah get off work and he can't find me too, Isaiah just gonna act like, oh, well, mom's gone, right? So when my oldest son gets off work, I mean, it's common sense. You gonna send somebody to my house? No, dog. I'm the same one that told you you can't come to my house. I told this man more than once when he was calling me at 10 o'clock at night, talking about I'm near your house. I'm near your house. I'm down here off this street and this street. And I kept telling him I don't live there, but I also didn't tell him where I lived. This is also a scare tactic. So he wants to send fear through me. So when he says I'm about to send the police to your house, he's getting the police on me. So he gonna get the police on me because he like, you gonna get with me, ma'am. I'm gonna get the police on you. That's what he really saying is that ain't no way you gonna turn me down for 5 years. I'm getting ready to get the police on you. The police need to talk to you, girl. They need to do a welfare check. And what he really saying is they need to do a mental health check. Because in his sick ass mind, he think I'm crazy as hell for turning him down because he owned properties. I could give a fuck less about his properties. I care about emotional stability. You know what that man would do if I moved in his house? I couldn't even tell that demon that I had a channel. If this crazy ass man knew that I had this channel, he would go take the largest tool that he could find and he would beat my YouTube device that I'm doing these lives on like it was somebody that was trying to kill him. Can you imagine what this type of man would put me through? I put it on the list when I told y'all in another video the over 20 things he would be doing if I got in this situation. And look, one of the things that's on the list, he's already trying to do it. And I refuse to get with the man, and he's doing it. So it's a scare tactic. So this is the thing. The police have not contacted me. So I think what would happen if he did call the police, unaware narcissists will make threats that they don't follow through with. Now, if he was an aware narcissist, I would have been contacted by the police. So say if he called the police, say hypothetically he called the police and I don't know about it. Okay. And this is why I wouldn't know about it. In the area that I live in, we have a small police department. Okay. It's small. And this police department, they know me. Okay. And when I say know me, they know me. And I'm not someone that's always in trouble, but I'm trusted. I'm They call me Miss Irene. There was one situation where I witnessed the situation from my window, and the police trusted me so much. They took the wrong person out of the handcuffs and they put the right person in the handcuffs just based on me witnessing what happened. Okay. So the police force where I live, trust me, I'm known as law abiding. I'm known as someone that will do the right thing and call. The police department looks at me as someone that has a controlled nature, which means I have self-control. But also within this police department, I'm considered very dangerous to abusers. This police department will tell my own children, leave her alone, man. She's dangerous. So basically, within the police department I'm known as a fighter. I am known as someone that will hit you back, call the police. There's consequences involved. That's how I'm known. I'm not known as a punk ass within the police department. So also passive aggressively, what he's saying as well, when he sends me this text, when he says he's about to send the police to my house, he's saying that I don't have anybody, right? And that he's also pointing out, because remember, passive aggressive language, you're saying a lot without saying it. So he's saying that I don't have a good support system. He's also saying in some sense that the police are not my protectors. Okay. Which they are. This police department is actually my protectors. They will be the first to know, probably, if something was to happen to me. Okay. But nothing's going to happen to me. You know why? Nothing's going to happen to me? Because I turned this man down. See, he don't need to do a welfare check on me because I'm not in no danger in this house. All my situations are corrected. Now, let me tell you this too. When me and Daniel, my baby boy, when we was beefing and going through our little trials and tribulation, beefing with one another, I would kind of tell the unaware narcissist some of what was going on. And he would say, well, I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. He would deny that any words was being passed or any abuse was being subjected upon me. But now he gonna do a welfare check. He's not my protector. This man is not my protector. And basically what this unaware narcissist is doing, I've already told him that things are fine at home. There's no problems. There's no abuse going on. There's no excessive fighting. All those problems have been fixed. But when you tell unaware narcissist stuff, they never believe you. So what he's saying is this. Passive aggressively, remember, when you speak in passive aggressive language, you're saying a lot without saying it. So what he's saying is, ma'am, you really fucked up. Who gonna get you is your sons. I'm doing a welfare check on you, ma'am. I'm calling the police. Maybe your sons beat your ass, which they wouldn't. My sons are my protectors. What I did by turning this unaware narcissist down, I'm protecting myself and my sons by not giving this man a chance. You know what this man told me on one phone conversation several years ago? This was before he bought his first house, y'all. He told me that he gets up in the middle of the night and he just starts beating his TV. He just beats his flat screen. He starts punching his flat screen and he says he doesn't know why. Okay, so I avoided a very dangerous situation. So another thing he's saying by saying he's going to call the police is this is what's going to happen to you when you don't answer my call. Also, what he's saying is that he doesn't have a lot of supply options. And he doesn't, because every time a woman come in his house, if she dark skinned, light skinned, he abuses them both. If one is cooking and she used the wrong utensil, he snaps the fuck out. The last one, he wanted her cell phone and gave her phone back and told her to get the fuck out and threatened her with a restraining order. And she was not getting aggressive or violent with him or arguing with him. Now, with that situation, when the lady got home, And this lady works with him. He's actually talking to his coworker like this at his house. But when he told me that the lady said that he didn't have to talk to her like that, I said, I agree with her. I do. I agree that you didn't have to do that. But most of the time, I say nothing. I just listen to his abuse stories and I just say nothing, and we end up talking about something else. If I would have answered his phone call on Saturday, he would have committed psychological warfare. He wants to commit psychological warfare upon me because now he wants to get revenge. He's an unaware narcissist. And even if he does not know what he's doing, see, I'm an aware empath. I came up with that term on this channel. I'm an aware empath, so I know what he's up to. But he's an unaware narcissist. He needs to do a welfare check. And so he's basically saying, you got a punk ass family. Your family done killed you, or your family done let you get killed. I interact with friends and relatives over the phone, in the state and out of state. I don't need this man to do a welfare check on me. I don't need him to call the police. So let's go into what would happen if he was to call the police. We have a smart police department. So the first thing they would notice is that they know my nature. So what does the police department know about me? They know that I'm single. And that this police department, the only people that they usually will see me with is my sons. Okay. So they, outside of my sons, they view me as not being in intimate partner abuse. Okay. So the police would notice that about me. They wouldn't say, well, you know, Miss Irene, we noticed that you ain't never had to call the police on a boyfriend or something lately. The police would notice this about me and wouldn't tell me that they're noticing this. When the police talk to me over the phone, come to the house, this police department, they notice my backpack that I have on. One police told me, Miss Irene, you got on a black trench coat, you got on your Jordans, you got on your backpack. What is going on? Is anybody in your backpack? No, they not right now. So the police department that I'm under is very familiar with me. I'm one of the last people that they think they're going to need to do a welfare check on, because he's saying, check this out. If there needs to be a welfare check on me, that means I'm not in good state, right? That means I'm not okay. That means I've been beat up. I've died in my house. Nobody knows what's happening to me. So he views me as having no one, when actually that's his situation. That's why he's begging for supply the way he is. Begging for romance and begging for supply. That's actually his situation. He doesn't have anyone because everybody that comes in his house, dark skin, light skin, whatever way they are, he abuses them. And he's consistently told me about it for several years now, going on 5 years. And he just lacks understanding as to, you know, why he wasn't considered a catch. He never asked me why, y'all. The total and entire time that I was turning this gentleman down, he never asked me why. He did ask me one time, well, what do I need to do to get with you? I said, I wouldn't tell you that. The reason I wouldn't tell you what you would need to do is because you can fake like you're that man and temporarily do what I told you. I said, it's like cheating on a test, right? And I'm giving you the answers. So you get 100% and you ace the test because I gave you the answers. I'm not going to answer that question, sir. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do to get with me. First of all, stop abusing women. And you know, the thing is, we can talk about churches all day long and masjids and Buddhist monasteries and Catholic mass. We can talk about churches and we could act like that's really where the devil at. The devil is just on the church people. But I'm getting ready to tell you a news alert. The people that have done the most harm to me, they don't enter churches. They truly don't. In my case, my most dangerous people that have been in my life, they will not or would not enter a church. They would not or will not get saved and baptized. They will not and would not take their shahada. They won't take no religion. They won't claim they're an Israelite, a Zen Buddhist. They don't claim nothing. So despite what you may think, now some people have been harmed the most by people in the church. It can go both ways. But in my case, my biggest demons in my life have been people that do not pray. They do not go to church or masjids. They do not go to religious events. Okay? This is who I've been mostly subjected by. So what I did, this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 5. In the description box, I'm going to attach a video. Some of my music that I really like to use, I'm not using it as much because I don't want to get copyright claims and I want to do the best I can to respect the YouTube platform. And so what I will be doing is adding my music to the description box. YouTube allows that because it's a couple of songs that I really like that kind of put me in a good mood. So what happens is you teach people how to treat you. So, and this is the thing. There's been other weekends that he's called me over the years and I didn't answer and called him a whole month later. That's happened before. But the reason it's on such alert, he's on high alert, and he wants to go into this psychological warfare because when he sent me the video of the little black girl and I didn't, he could not provoke me to get mad at a child. Now he puts me in the target area of a dumb candidate or a potentially dumb victim. So it kind of caught him off guard because I didn't do what he expected me to do. So what that did, like I told you in Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 4, that makes me challenge fuel. So he knew not to target me through the text over the weekend. So he did it through calling. So when I didn't answer that 6:45 p.m. call on Saturday, I talked about that in the live. When I didn't answer that call, he couldn't feed his itch. He couldn't get that itch scratched because now he's went in mad mode. He's actually, whether he wants to recognize it or not, or he does recognize it, he's now angry with me. So let me see what this is. Yeah, he's angry. So someone says, so this is, so first, I don't know what that means. Someone says, Afin Shaw, M6N, no one wants to listen to your shit story. Well, get off the live. Well, you're here listening to it, right? Okay, so if no one wants to listen to it, and that's why people like you'll be in situations and that you can't get out of because you're not listening, right? So see, I'm not gonna get mad with you because you're very naive. Thanks for apologizing. But you know why you don't want to listen to my piece of shit story? Let me tell you why. You don't want to listen to it because you didn't listen to Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Are you a man or a lady? Yeah, it's okay. I forgive you. I truly do. Make sure you ask the Lord for forgiveness too, not just me. I truly appreciate the apology. But the thing is, see, if you got that in your mind, see this story, okay, you apologize, so you're fine. I'm not going to block you. So Because you apologized, I'm not going to block you. Okay. So your friend gave you a challenge. What kind of challenge happened? Are you a man or lady? So I can know how to address you and how to help you. Because there's a difference between a man and a lady. So I want to be able to, you're most likely a man. Because men are so rebellious sometimes. They watch all this crap on YouTube, and sometimes their own relatives have told them, don't listen to a woman. Don't listen to no girl. They stupid as hell. So are you a man or a lady? So I can address you properly. You're a woman? So, okay. Are you a straight woman? Are you a straight woman? Because I want to help you, not hurt you. And I believe this. Okay, good. Okay, so this is what you do need to know. Any story, and I'm probably older than you. Okay, I suspect that I'm older than you just because of the immaturity you showed in the beginning, but now you're showing maturity. So this is one thing. As a straight woman, because I'm a straight woman too, you should be listening to this story. See, this story ain't a piece of shit. You know, when I was being raised, you know, my grandmother, she told me, she said, you shouldn't marry that man. I went through 10 to 15 years of pure hell, all because I was hard-headed, because I thought what my grandmother was saying was a piece of shit. So when you come on this channel, nothing I'm saying is a piece of shit. Because for one, I'm talking about a real life story. Yeah, it's okay. I forgive you. You're so sweet. You know, let me shout your name out again. And you know what happens? Let me tell you what happens. You're around a narcissist and you're angry. Athen Shaw, M6N, you're around a narcissist. You're being victimized. I actually don't sense that you're an abuser. You're being victimized. And I'm going over steps and ways for you to get free of that. So look, check this out. I could easily, this man that I've known for decades and decades, I was never intimate with this man. I kept this man out of my house. I refused all dates. I didn't care what he has. This man owns like 3 properties. So let me tell you something that ain't a piece of shit. Don't ever judge somebody by what they own or got. Judge them by their personality. Because see, all over the United States and in all countries, people are getting murdered, especially women. They call it femicide. Yeah, thank you for listening. So sometimes a story, let me be open-minded here. Sometimes a story may seem like kind of like a piece of shit because for one, you ain't heard the other parts and you're pissed off about how narcissists are treating you. Okay. So I'm trying to teach you and everyone how narcissists assert control over you. So Athen Shaw, first of all, this Negro said, are you okay? When he texted me. So see, what I'm teaching you is everybody that asks you if you okay, don't always give a fuck about you. They don't give a flying fuck about you. This man cares nothing about me. He's not concerned about me. He say he gonna send the police to my house. This a man, Athen Shaw, let me ask you this. This a man that I wouldn't allow at my house. So why is a man that I would never allow to come visit me talking about he gonna call the freaking police to make a welfare check? A welfare check in the United States means the police come check and make sure you're alive. A welfare check, not welfare like a cash payment. I used to be an ignorant motherfucker, y'all. I did. You know, when I first heard the word welfare check, I thought it meant they come in this check and see if you got a welfare check. I thought it meant literally like a a low income check. I did. Long time ago, I thought that. Somebody had to tell me, no, Irene, welfare check mean they checking on the status to see if somebody okay. Because somebody had mentioned they was going to have somebody do a welfare check on me long time ago. And I said, I don't need to check and see if I got no damn welfare check. I got 2 or 3 motherfucking jobs. Why the police going to check and see if I got goddamn welfare? And got G-O-T, not God. Why the police need to see if I got a welfare check? I ain't got no damn welfare check. I worked 2 and 3 jobs. That's how dumb I was. I thought welfare check means somebody checking to see if I got a welfare check. I did. It was long time ago. I was a dumbass. But of course, for decades and decades, I understand that sending the police to do a welfare check means to check on my welfare, my well-being. Welfare means my well-being, not the check, y'all. And I thought like that, and I wasn't even raised on welfare. I thought it meant literally a welfare check. So somebody looked at me like I was crazy, and they was like, no, Irene. They laughed. They thought the shit was so funny. They was like, that's that Southern shit coming out of you. I said, well, whatever it is, it say welfare check. I only know one type of welfare check. That's when you get the benefits. So that's how ignorant I used to be. So I am not perfect. And Afin Shaw, I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate the apology. But the goal, this is what I went over in Narcissist and text messaging. I want you to watch part 1, 2, 3, 4. What I went over, and the reason this is so important is because it is a delusion to think you're going to wake up and just, oh, I'm not going to text everybody. I'm not going to text anybody, so I'll be just fine. I'm teaching you how to prevent ensnarement. It's a word that HD Tutor uses. I'm teaching you how to prevent ensnarement, which means you don't get caught up with these narcissists and psychopaths. And I'm teaching you how to prevent it on a case-by-case basis. So this unaware narcissist is one of the cases. See how this Negro say he gonna call the police? Because you know what? Let me tell you what's in his subconscious. If he could call the police and they come handcuff my fucking ass and put me in jail for the crime of turning him down for 5 or 6 years, this is what he would have happen to me. He don't want the police to check on me. He want my ass arrested. That's what he wants. Because this man think like a child, y'all. This little pretty little girl told my cousin, she said, my cousin helps to take care of the pretty little girl. And she told, I'm not going to mention her name, but she told my cousin, I'm going to have the police arrest you because you was gone too long. That's how much she loved my cousin. He was away at work doing his business because he has his own business. So he was away at work, and this little pretty little 4 or 5 year old little girl, I think she's like 5 or 6 or whatever, not 4, but 5 or 6. She was, and I heard her over the phone. It was the cutest little thing. She said, I'm going to call the police and have them arrest you because you was gone too long. So that's how a 5-year-old thinks, right? A 5 or 6 year old. And I asked, well, why does she know about the police? Because her dad's in jail or prison. So she knows about the police because she knows her father is in prison. Yeah, after shot, she told my cousin that she wants to call the police on him because he was gone too long. She gets better care. She's fed. He plays games with her. You know, like board games and stuff like that. He was raised in a big family, and his mom was very attentive to them. So he was raised with, you know, over 5 kids in the household. He has a bunch of siblings, so he's good with kids. So I'm using that pretty little girl as an example, and I love hearing her talk. But this is a grown man, this unaware narcissist that's texting me. He's saying a lot when he says, I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check. He's an unaware narcissist. See, an aware narcissist wouldn't have typed this, because an aware narcissist would have said, nah, I ain't going to send that because She didn't even let me come to her house, dog. I'm gonna just get off her radar because she don't really want to be bothered. He's an unaware narcissist. So see, an unaware narcissist, they don't know what they are. And that's what makes them dangerous. And Af and Shaw, let me tell y'all this, and everyone that's here, because they don't know what they are, guess what? He don't know what I am neither. He don't know what I am. The police department knows me better than this man. If one of the seasoned police officers in the suburb I live called him back, they would say, "Oh, Miss Irene, why are you doing a welfare check on Miss Irene? Oh, she ain't called you back? How many times you called her, man?" I called her Saturday and Sunday. The police would say, "When the last time you seen Miss Irene?" "I ain't seen her in years. I mean, I've been asking her out, but I haven't seen her in many years." "Oh, okay, man. I'm gonna promise you this, man." This is what the police would tell them. Miss Irene's fine. If there's a problem with Miss Irene, we'll get a call in here, and her family will take care of it. Okay. I'm truly confident that she's fine. I'm so confident that Miss Irene is fine that I'm not even going to call her. If something happened to Miss Irene, I would feel it. This is what the seasoned police officers would say. I have some police officers that really care about myself and my family. They're borderline. The police officers in our district, they do a lot of community policing. They're like our referees, y'all. They've actually been like therapists to my family. Okay. The police, it's a small policing department, but they're like my psychiatrist, y'all. So when he called the police on me and do a welfare check, that's like calling my psychiatrist. My psychiatrist is gonna say she's fine. I've done my therapy. And then when he say, "Well, I think she's in danger. Somebody got her," the police would giggle. "Somebody's fucked Miss Irene up." Boy, that's funny. Wow. You don't know Miss Irene very well, do you? Miss Irene calls us quite often and tells us how she's going to kick some ass if Elijah comes to her residence. You know, Irene's boys is what they would, this is what the seasoned police would tell this man. Like, "Sir, thanks for your call, but she's fine." What I suggest to you is just to stop contacting her. She doesn't seem like she's interested. This is what the police would tell this man. They know me better than this man. Or he didn't call at all, but I'm telling you how it would go. Especially on the shift he would call. He sent me this text. Thank you, Affenshaw. Am I pronouncing your name right? Your name is so pretty too. Affenshaw. Am I pronouncing your name right, dear heart? And thank you for saying it's interesting. Some people just not morning people. You just woke up, trust me. Okay, yep. I'm pretty good with names. Yep, I'm pretty good with names, and I care about people names too. I do. I care about the name, and I've been on the West Coast, I've been around a lot of diversity. So I'm really good. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling the story. And see, the thing is, let me tell you something, Affenshaw. This is the thing about my stories, right? It's a real story. It's actually happening. It's not all that fake TV stuff, right? Thank you so much for the like too. It's not fake. It's actually gonna help your life. You a woman, and I've been a domestic violence victim a couple of times. Even going back to childhood with my own grandmother, right? And my goal for you, even though I might seem a little, a little aggressive or whatever, or assertive, I'm gonna call it assertive. because I really get into my stories. I like telling my stories. Please like, share, and subscribe. I like telling my stories. So I get a little amped up in my energy. I have anxiety too, Shaw. I have a little anxiety, right? Diagnosed anxiety. It's considered mild, but you apologizing to me helped settle that down. I got feelings here, but my intention is truly to help you and to no, actually the anxiety is good, Shaw. Let me tell you why. Because when I was a prior abuse victim, I didn't have anxiety. So my hand didn't start shaking. I didn't feel my chest get tight when one of these abusers come in my life, right? The danger of not having anxiety is you don't ball up and you don't feel any fear with these people. So mild anxiety is a good thing. I got a little anxiety when he says he's about to send the police to my house. I felt the anxiety. So when I felt that, I said, I'm so glad I didn't mess with this man. Imagine my anxiety being severe. And subconsciously, what he wants is for me to be arrested. He's no different than the little girl that loves my cousin. When the little girl told my cousin she wanted him arrested because he was gone too long, and she want him home. Yeah, exactly. But anxiety is your protector. It's just like I have asthma too, Shaw, right? And my asthma acts up. My asthma can go off if my blood pressure is high. See, these diagnoses and illnesses that I have, they're really not illnesses. They're the Lord's protection. So I'm really being protected. My anxiety is a protector, especially since it's mild. Mild anxiety is like your alarm system. Okay. So I feel blessed to have it. Okay, no problem. Your internet not working? Yeah, go for it. Get your internet to working. And remember, you can always you can take the live backwards, scroll your little red thing. And remember, I'm going to update the description box as well. And I'm going to even add a song to it. I'm going to add my music to the description box because I don't want to get a copyright claim. So the music I wanted to use, I don't want to get a copyright claim. And so for the intro background that I've been using, I'm not getting a copyright claim on that. Yeah, take your time, Shaw. Take your time. I'm here for you, dear heart. And the story, if you go back and you watch part 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to attach those videos to the description box, Narcissist and text messaging. At least go back and watch part 4. Okay. Narcissist and text messaging part 4. That's the one that I uploaded over the weekend. So if you can at least watch that one, you will have more of an understanding of this man. And you're going to have these type of men contact you. This man stayed persistent. He tried to get me for 5 years. This is the devil, Shaw. This man the devil has told this man to come destroy me. He's an unaware narcissist. He don't even know that the demons are speaking to him. You know how dangerous that is? To not know that there's a bad energy in the universe that's prompting him to do wicked shit to other people. My stories make sense, Shaw. Let me tell you why. I don't know how soon you came in. I gave like over 20 reasons of things this man would do to me if I got with this man. He wanted to marry me and move me and my kids in his house. He's a man. Okay, thanks for asking that, Shaw. He's a man that I met decades and decades ago. When I was going through like a court battle and stuff, when I was going through my divorce, and we didn't talk for like 10 or 15 years. And but we kind of always was Facebook friends, but we didn't talk for like 10 or 15 years. And in his middle age, he's older than me. He's about up to 10 years older than me. In his middle age, he started purchasing these properties. So me and him was in a no contact for 10 or 15 years, and we started messaging each other over a decade ago. And this time we talk more. We was giving each other the update of our lives and stuff like that. And I don't mean the lives like videos of our life. But he's an unaware narcissist, Shaw. So what he's done is he's consistently told me story after story of up to about 8 victims he's had. Oh no, your English is great. Your English is great. So he's consistently told me about these victims, right? Of course, he won't call them victims. I'll give you an example. One woman, dark-skinned lady he abused, claims she has herpes. And I suspect, there's a suspicion of mine that he's actually the one giving these women the herpes, because he said more than one of them got herpes. There's one from up to 8 victims. And remember this, that's just what he's telling me about. So if he's telling me about 8, he got 18, right? Because remember, he's not, it's gonna be victims that's tied up and being choked out in his basement right now. Okay, or in his attic. I'm just joking, but I'm saying you just don't know what other victims this man got. And he doesn't consider them victims. He just casually tells me the stories. He's not connecting the two. He casually tells me about these victims, Shaw and everybody. And then while he's telling me about the victims, he's asking me if I want to go to a concert. He's asking me if I want to come out to eat. He's asking me if I want to come to his house. But I'm not listening to that part. I'm listening about the stories of the victims. See, I don't need to have fun that bad. I could go to a concert on my own and stuff like that. Also, the reason my story is interesting, like you said, Shaw, you said my story is interesting because eventually you changed it. And that's the thing. My lives, they will amp up some. It might start out like a little boring to some people. But as you listen to my live, you'll be like, oh, snap, this is interesting. Because I'm telling you more and more about the story. So he's had victims. Let me tell you, Shaw, he's had victims. One he just told, get the fuck out. One supply he had over 30 years, he snapped on her because she used the wrong utensils for his pots. Another one was homeless, staying in his house, and he told her to go into the other room. He watching TV. One, oh my goodness, let me tell you about the victim where he told me he's happy that her dog died. Oh my God. He met her back in 2017 and dated her on and off for 4 years. And he was happy her dog died. And oh yeah, and he worded it just like that, Shaw. This was his exact words. He said, I was happy her dog died because I was thinking me and her could really work it out and have a better relationship. So he sent me the wedding photos of that supply, and she's married to a tall, dark, and handsome man, and they have 3 big old dogs now, like pit bull looking dogs. So it don't look like the new man happy that her dogs died, or her prior dog died. She got a whole new husband, 3 big old dogs, tall black man. She got about 5 kids. She got a lot of children. So yeah, this is the type of stuff he tells me. I don't correct him. See, with unaware narcissists, I just let him tell me that he's happy her dog died. I don't judge him. I don't say, well, that's really evil what you're saying. I don't do that. Because if I do that, he's not going to keep telling me the story. So I can't really confirm that he's a bad guy. So, yeah, just all of them. And he thinks he has the right to abuse them because they're dark skinned too. He really does. He thinks he has a right to treat these women however he wants to based on their complexion. Yeah, he is a bad person. Yeah. And check this out. I'm light skinned, right? But my mom is dark complected. I've told him this before too. I said, you know, my mama dark skinned, right? So, I mean, he doesn't understand and connect emotions. Like, I'm really not happy that you think it's okay to abuse dark skinned women. And when I say dark skinned, I call them chocolate. So they the color of a Hershey chocolate bar or darker. They're literally chocolate, lighter chocolate or darker chocolate. They're not beige, they're not caramel, they're not high yellow. I'm talking about a actual Hershey chocolate bar, chocolate lady. And guess what color he is? He chocolate. The nerves of him to hate his own color and think he had the right to mistreat people. But what he's trying to tell me is because I'm light skinned, he gonna treat me better. No, he won't. He gonna treat me worse too. If I went into that man's house, see, let me tell you something, Shaw. I seem polite, right? Yeah, he is a racist against his own race. They call that inner racism and colorism. Yes, he is. And you aren't the first person that's pointed that out. So good job on that. You have good intuition. And you know what, Shaw, let me tell you something. I'm also at some point going to be doing a video about starting your own YouTube channel. You're one click away. And I'm going to tell you something. When people come in here, kind of like how you came in here on a bad note at first, but you corrected it. So thank you for that. You need your own channel because, see, you have good insight and you pick up on things. And see, this is something that you could talk about on your channel. The racism. See, you could get a channel and you could do reactions to my videos. So you could play me on your channel and then react to me. You can do stuff like that. So what I see is that I think you're a good person, Shaw, that needs to utilize your talents more. Because you're very talented to call him a racist. But the thing is, he ain't racist against white people. He's racist against his own race. And it's very intuitive to pick that up about these kind of people. We often view racism like it's just racist. It's racist to not like another race. Yeah, and thank you for the apology. You got a very sweet heart. You really do. And that's all that matters. Let me tell you something about the Lord too, Shaw. I don't know what your faith level is. Do you believe in a higher power? But the thing is, you cannot change the past. So what you said to me in the beginning, that my story wasn't about shit, you can't take that away. It's already typed. Okay. So it's done with. For me being an aware empath, I'm not going to hold that against you. Because I understand I've said stuff too. I probably say stuff that offend people all the time just in my lives. But you're welcome. Yeah, so I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. And just let it go. What you said to me is over. And you're very intelligent because you was able to, no problem. And thank you for your generosity as well. You just have to listen. You know, you just mad because somebody doing you this way too. Like, you probably are having people abuse you through text messaging. So in this case, if an unaware narcissist, if they tell you they're going to call the police and bring them to your house to check on you and call it a welfare check, don't call the person. Let them call the police. Let them call the police. The police will handle him. That's who he needs to call. So the police could tell him that I ain't to be fucked with, because that's all gonna happen. The police gonna tell this Negro, if Miss Irene not contacting you, sir, back off. Leave her alone, because her and Daniel and Isaiah, They might not be in the mood for your shit this week. Because despite the little family beef they be having, they will all whoop your ass together. That's one thing I know about Miss Irene and her family. Just leave them the fuck alone. Be grateful that she ain't texting you or calling you. That way you don't get your ass whooped, sir. See, because I'm not in the policing system for beating up girls. That's one thing about this police department. There's nothing in there in the last 10 or 20 years to say I whoop girls' ass. Those are old cases. The old cases say I used to whoop girls' ass. But the last 20 years say I'm whooping men's asses. Okay? So the police will tell this gentleman, you know what? Because of the men ass that she whooped, she don't give a damn if it's a son or a man or whatever. Leave that woman the fuck alone. For you get your ass kicked. Okay? Because you're too aggressive for Miss Irene, sir. See, she a Scorpio spirit over there. She don't like aggressive. Don't look for Scorpios when they disappear. They're fine. She don't need your help, sir. So if a seasoned police officer took the call, they're going to talk to him and not even contact me. They may drive by the house and not tell me to. Welfare checks are not all knocks. Miss Irene, are you okay? They ain't concerned about me. The police department I'm under, they not concerned about that. I'm not really the punk ass in the police department. They view me with a homicidal ideation. This is the police department that I'm under. They know me better than this man. So he's saying a lot. You know, this text he sent is very passive aggressive. He's gaslighting me, playing with my reality by asking me, am I okay? He doesn't care if I'm okay. That's why he tried to use a pretty little black girl to harm me. But it didn't work. You can't use no kid to hurt me. He cannot make me mad with no child. But because he used a little girl, yes, he manipulates and gaslights. That's right, Affenshaw. Please subscribe if you are not subscribed, because I like how you're participating in the chat and bringing knowledge to the chat. Because you're mentioning stuff that I'm not mentioning, and you'll be a real good candidate to come on my live. I'll try to do the live within the next week on why you should get a YouTube channel. And one of the reasons why to get a YouTube channel, let me tell you what one of the reasons will be, is so that you can stop. Thanks for subscribing. So that you can stop, you or anyone, not just you per se, can stop getting aggressive with other YouTubers. Because the only reason you're being aggressive is because you have something to say on YouTube and people aren't hearing your voice. So this is what happens. Okay, so Affenshaw, you know what jealousy is, right? Yeah, I don't really, to be honest, Affenshaw, I really don't want to be famous. I want to be known and popular, but not famous. Okay, so you know what jealousy is. So what happens is, that's why it happens. So I understand jealousy. My grandmother was kind of slightly jealous of certain people, right? So it's a normal human instinct. It's a narcissistic trait that can come out. In my case, I have a lot of control over jealousy. I don't get jealous a lot because I have a lot of confidence that I built up. It's not one of my emotions. However, it can be an emotion for some. So the reason, let me tell you the psychology of why you said you don't want to hear the dumb story or whatever, however you said it. It's because you want to be telling your own story. So you're like a manager, right? So there's a talent there that you have that you're utilizing in the chat. I see your talent. And see, I'm not jealous of you. So I want you to use that talent. So what I'm going to do just for you within the next week, I'm going to do the live on why you should start your own YouTube channel. Okay. That way you can get started uploading videos. And I would support your channel. So if you gave me your channel name and stuff and told me where to go, I could support your channel. Shaw, do you upload on this channel that you have now that you're leaving me comments from? Or are you currently uploading videos to public? Probably not at this time, but yeah, so that's what happens. Hold on, I'm checking these comments to make sure I haven't missed any from anyone else. Okay, so, and I love your empathy and your respect level, you know. I do. I love how you're very accountable for what you say. You have a really good personality. And you know what I love about it? How you corrected it right away, too. You're really a powerful person. You're really a powerful person because it don't take 2 or 3 years to apologize to somebody unless you're a psychopath. I received an apology from a gentleman last year, but it took him like over 2 years to apologize to me. It does not take that long to apologize to somebody. So I love your empathy and your emotional empathy, and you felt something for me. See, when you apologize, Shaw, your apology came from you feeling bad on how you was treating me, and I ain't never did anything to you. So you felt bad about that. So someone that has emotional empathy would be really good in speaking and having their own channel. So that's all. It was just a little jealousy because you want a channel, and I'm gonna be doing a live in the next week. Okay, yeah, my friend. So Shaw says, yeah, my friend is not accepting my apology, like I didn't and anything, like I didn't do anything to him, but still see he probably ain't your friend. Friends that you have a lot of disputes with, just leave them alone. See what happens with friends like that. This weekend, I got several calls that I didn't answer. And it's not because I was mad at anybody, but I'm tired of debating with people that don't want to learn nothing, right? I'm tired of people that they complain about the same problem and they don't want to fix it. So, yeah, and you're a person, you're not going to do it again. Like, but the friend, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something about your friend. He probably owe you an apology. See, that emotional empathy, a lot of times we apologizing for nothing. It's just like years ago when I was in therapy and the psychologist caught me taking the blame for everything. She was like, damn, you taking the blame and the fall for it all. You know, that part actually wasn't your fault. What the hell? She caught that in me and I don't do it no more. I'm very careful to take accountability. You know, that's the key to suicide. Suicide, I'm going to call them victims because sometimes someone has led them to suicide. People that kill themselves, they feel a lot of guilt. And they can't let the guilt and pain and sadness go. Yeah, people that commit suicide, that's an emotion that drives them crazy. to the point that they unalive their own self. They cannot get over when they was 4 that they shot the little puppy with the little pellet BB gun. The puppy laughed about it because the puppy wasn't even hurt. The puppy was like happy and doing the little smiley giggle thing. But the person with emotional empathy, just, they're convinced that they hurt the dog and can't let it go. Oh no, suicide is not my ideation. I don't have a suicidal ideation. My ideation is more homicidal. I believe in self-defense. I believe more in a homicidal ideation because I believe that if someone enters my home, I have a right to protect my family. And if that includes that person happens to die because I defended my family, that's just how I gotta go. I don't believe in a suicidal ideation at all. I'm totally against suicide. It's not something I believe in. But if you got to protect yourself from someone trying to kill you or unalive you, that's what I believe in. Let me see. Affenshaw says life is beautiful. It has sad moments and it has happy moments, but it's beautiful. Yes, and that's how you got to think. You got to think like that. You can't be thinking any other kind of way, because any other kind of thought process will hurt you. You want to think positive thoughts so that you don't fall into any sort of depression. Depression is dangerous. That's something that I talk about this on my channel. This St. John's wort, the capsules, 300 milligrams. You can take up to 3 a day. It's good for anxiety. It's a herb. You can buy it from CVS pharmacy or like a health supplement store. And I buy the Nature's Bounty brand of St. John's wort. And I just take it as needed. It helps with anxiety. I don't believe in popping pills every day, unless it's like something you need to take temporarily for like a week or two. So if it's something that you got to take temporarily for a week or two, up to 2 weeks, I believe in something like that. But I don't believe outside of that type of situation, I don't believe in taking medications. Like basically, some people will take medication and they got to take it all year. It got to be really life-threatening if I took a medication every day. I got to really feel like I'm gonna die if I don't take it. I mean, I truly have to feel like I'm gonna die if I don't take that medication. But if I don't feel like that, then there's no way that oh no, you're a good motivator, Affenshaw. This channel will be good for you because you have a little low self-esteem. I used to have it too. I fight self-esteem issues still to this day. I just make sure that I maintain my self-esteem. So you have a little low self-esteem that coming to this channel will help you increase. So I may seem a little strict and I think outside the box, but on here your self-esteem will improve. So yeah, you need help with self-esteem issues. And this channel will help with that. My viewers and subscribers have their self-esteem becomes more healthier when they come here, because I don't support it being low. It's not good. See, low self-esteem is what made me think it was okay to be abused by anybody. But see, once my self-esteem was increased, I whoop ass now. See, the ass whooper self-esteem when a self-defense situation. I also don't have financial low self-esteem. You know, you can have financial low self-esteem where you can think, well, I got to get with this man or I got to get with this lady because they own properties and I don't. I don't care if I live in a shoebox. I don't have financial low self-esteem. Oh, thank you, Affinshaw. I like your comment when you said I'm funny. Thank you. That was sweet. Yeah, people say that, you know. I'll review my video once or twice and take notes. And when I review my own video, I laugh at myself. So I think you're right. Actually, I know you're right. I bring a lot of laughter to people. I do. And that's why it's good to hang in there with the live so that you'll get, you know, everything. And, you know, I'm open to, you know, if you want to give ways that I can improve my stories, then that's fine too. But yeah, thank you. So let me go through the comments. You are a good motivator, Affinshaw. I do think you are a good motivator because you motivated me today. Yeah, and I like how you said, Affinshaw, you can't give your life away because some man or girl rejected you. I worked with this gentleman decades and decades ago when I worked in insurance, and he was like 20, not even 25 years old. And I'm supposed to do a video about him too, of how I feel about that. I'll never forget his face and where he sat. He went back to, I think he was from like Salt Lake City, because that's where the home office was of this insurance company back in Utah, right? And he committed suicide because his girlfriend broke up with him. And still to this day, you know what haunts me is that none of us talked to him at that job. I mean, he sat on the other side. He didn't sit in the section where my cubicle was, but that just bothered me, boy. I mean, I was like, wow, we should have been talking to him. What if somebody would have asked him if he's okay or something? So I learned a lot about, you know, suicide, you know, just from that situation. But yeah, he wasn't no more than 25 years old. He was a nice looking man. I mean, if he wouldn't have committed suicide, I'm quite sure he would have got another girlfriend, right? But he probably had extreme anxiety and very, very low self-esteem. So he didn't believe that he could get anybody else. That's how I view it. Because if you go unalive yourself just because your girlfriend broke up with you, then your self-esteem is low. But guess what? He was not 25 years old yet. And scientifically, your brain is not fully developed until you are 25 years old or 27 years old. So basically, you got to kind of view somebody like that, like a big child. He was only about, I think, 23, 22. He was not 25 years old yet. So he was just a big old kid. And his girlfriend broke up with him. He left the West Coast. He would come help us in the summer. And people from the home office, which the home office, I think, was like Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. He was a white young man, and he would come help us. And one of the red flags that still to this day that creeped me out about this gentleman is that he never talked. That was the red flag right there. He did not talk. He didn't say hello. He just sat there and did his work. And until the day I die, I'm never going to forget where he was sitting at in that job. I cannot forget it. Ever. I almost wish I could. It kind of like haunts me, you know? It haunts me. It really does. And so I like what you said, Affinshaw, is that we can't be committing suicide over no stuff like that. over no girl or no dude. I mean, we got to be a bigger person. So thank you so much for subscribing. So Afin Shaw, do you have any questions? And I do believe this. I attract a lot of empaths to my channel. I do. So who do you think is the psychopath, Afin Shaw? Because you mentioned somebody's a psychopath. You talking about the guy that I was talking about in the beginning? The unaware narcissist? Yeah, you know what? The more and more, you're right, your intuition is right, because I've said that in another video about him. The more and more that I've gotten to learn how he is, I have to kind of remind myself that he may not be just a narcissist. And this is why. How calm he is when he tells those stories, right? He can tell me that he just killed a dog, or the way he even said he was happy that dog died, right? That girl's dog, his ex. And believe me, even though he didn't say it to her, oh, trust me, she felt it. See, if he happy that a dog is a living being, I like to call them puppies because it's more of a gentle word, but he does behave like a psychopath. And I referenced to that before about this man. Just to warn people that you got to be careful, because they ain't just a narcissist. So if he's actually a psychopath, he has no conscience, and it actually makes him more dangerous to me and those that I bring around him. I do see psychopathic traits, I do. But if he's a psychopath, he's a narcissistic psychopath. And this is why. I learned this from HD Tutor, right? If he's a narcissistic psychopath, he requires supply. See, a pure psychopath, if they're just a psychopath, they don't require the supply. They don't hunt it down the way a narcissist would. But a narcissistic psychopath has no conscience. They have no emotional empathy. They'll be very calm when they're telling you who they killed and who they want to kill. They're always calm when they're telling these stories, right? Because there's no emotions there. They're not crying about it. They feel nothing about what they did. So yeah, he could very well be a psychopath. And that's very, very dangerous. I mean, a psychopath within 5 minutes, something they do could destroy your whole life. Literally, just 5 minutes. I was watching a video yesterday of a white lady, and I'm just giving you a description. I'll put that video in the description box as well. So she's a white lady. She was a alcoholic. She's a psychopath, though. She won't even admit that she's an alcoholic. And she drove through a birthday party and killed 2 little beautiful children. I'll put that in the description box. I sure will. And she had a lot of psychopathic traits. She was able to eventually go to court and fake like she felt something. But let me tell you a word she used that did not go past my radar when she called them those kids. See, the kids that she murdered when she drove through that birthday party, she was drinking wine every day. Those are just those kids. Those kids ain't shit to her. So she faked it. She had no tears coming down her face, Afin Shaw and y'all. No tears coming down her face, and she called them those kids. So that's an indication that she could be a psychopathic drunk. Yeah, see, you can be a narcissistic psychopath. This is a term that HG Tudor taught me. So you got a narcissist, you got a narcissistic psychopath, and you have just a psychopath. Also, HG Tudor teaches the four main personalities. The main ones are normals. Normals are low on empathy, low on narcissism. They're just normal. Empaths have a lot of empathy, and their empathy will always override their narcissistic traits. Affenshaw, you remind me of an empath. You did something I would do, get pissed off and immediately correct it. Okay. Then you got a narcissist. They have no emotional empathy, but can have cognitive empathy, which they're using their brain to determine if it's bad. Then you got a narcissistic person. They have a small level of empathy for some people. And then outside of that, those are the four main personality types that HG Tudor teaches. And then he goes on to talk about the psychopath and the narcissistic psychopath. So he explains, I'm going to explain it to the best of my ability. The narcissistic psychopath, they try to hunt for supply. They're both. They're calm, but they're also in a steady hunt for supply. Okay, so HG Tudor knows he's a narcissistic psychopath. That's what he is. A sociopath, let me explain this, Affenshaw. A psychopath and a sociopath, they have what you call antisocial personality disorder. Both of them have antisocial personality disorder. So a psychopath and a sociopath are both under the umbrella of antisocial personality disorder. Okay, it's just a psychopath is born and a sociopath is created through upbringing. So a psychopath is born, that's just the way they was going to be. And a sociopath is created. Okay? So that's the difference. So say you put a child in the projects, in the worst projects, low income projects, the worst projects in the United States, and that child sees shootings, sees people killed, sees his mother and father beat up by robbers, and then no one intervenes and takes that child out that situation, that child will most likely become a sociopath. They weren't born that way. They became that way due to their violent and impoverished environment, the poverty and the poorness and the violence they were in. Being in the projects alone won't make you a sociopath. You have to see the violence and see your mother and father beat up and stuff like that. You get to see a couple of rapes when you walking out to school. So it really messes with your mind. So a sociopath is created, a psychopath is born. I talk about psychopathy on this channel. So go and my best suggestion to you, Affenshaw, is to go watch my lives. You will benefit from my lives. For one, your self-esteem will go up. Okay. 2, you'll be developing a healthy connection with me. 3, I need you on this channel because I like your chats and your input. It helps my video. You're helping my video. So, and I'm helping you. So I'm a reciprocal person where I like you getting help and I get help. I like it to go both ways. So let me see. Affenshaw, thank you so much for the question. You said, if a child is bad mannered, blame the parents, not the child. No, I'm learning not to blame the parents. I have a son, Elijah. I called the police on him quite a bit. He no longer lives in the home. He's very bad mannered, but the courts have called him an undiagnosed psychopath. Okay, so what I'm learning through parenting is that see, when the child gets a certain age, so this is what you got to ask yourself. If a child is bad mannered, blame the parents. That's the traditional narcissistic way we were taught. That's why these kids they go murder people. Oh, well, they gonna blame my mom and dad. Now we have at risk youth petitions that parents can file to protect themselves. So if a out of control child does a crime, they can get a court order so they're not liable for the crime that this child commits. But the things that an undiagnosed psychopath can do, they can do things that the parents don't teach them. See, they're rebellious, right? So now if a child is bad mannered, blame the child. If it's a very young, blame the parent. Let me explain this. So Shaw, let me break this down. If a child is a bad mannered, like you said, blame the parents. That's when that child is very, very young. But remember, brain-wise, you're a child till you're 25 in some sense, but you know better. So a 15-year-old now knows better, right? Because it's not a 5-year-old. So the thing is, you got to look at the age of the child before you blame the parent. Because see, some children will grow up and tell you they're going to do what they want to do. You can teach the child to do the right thing. But that doesn't mean you can make the child do it. Legally, once that child is a certain age, they can run away and they can legally not listen to you, and the police and the courts can do very little about it, except start arresting the child when they start getting in trouble and getting in trouble in the streets. That's all the courts and the police can do. But for an older child that's bad mannered, it's that child fault, because that child is making a choice to be that way. But oftentimes the child makes a choice not to be that way because of there's no discipline as well. There's no discipline. Sorry about that. Thank you. So, yeah, sorry about that, y'all. And then just do a quick one in there. You're welcome. Yeah. So, the thing is, if the parent is providing discipline, then when the child is older, if the child has a parent that's telling them to stop being abusive, and the older child continues to do it, we're talking about a child, let's say 13 and up. Once that child becomes a teenager, they're in rebellion and it's not the parent's fault. Now, the parent can contribute to the older child being more rebellious and abusive. I've done videos. I had my teenagers, they were runaways and all kind of stuff. My youngest son, Daniel, he went through stuff too, but he's doing good now. Because I do understand that I had to discipline my son. Okay. You got to have a balance of discipline and love. But if the child is an undiagnosed psychopath, the psychopathy takes over. See, this is a psychopath. My youngest son, Daniel, he's not a psychopath. My oldest son, Isaiah, is not a psychopath. So yes, if they're acting up and acting bad, then it can be part of my fault because maybe I didn't teach them the right way. However, you cannot control a psychopathic child. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Okay. There was this article, and a lot of parents that have psychopathic children, they will often be blamed for the child's behavior because people don't understand psychopathy. So when a child has psychopathy, let me see. This one was deep. Okay. This mom has a psychopathic son. Okay, this is an article, right? and she has to protect herself from her adult psychopathic child. So this is what the article reads. Okay. Your child is not normal. Can you imagine feeling happy and relieved at relieving it? No, let me start over. Okay. This mom is protecting herself from her adult psychopathic child. And this is going to be an interesting read because of what the psychiatrist says. So it says, your child is not normal. Can you imagine feeling happy and relieved at reading these words about your child, words that they've written to me by an experienced therapist? Can you imagine being told by a psychiatrist that the best outcome you could hope for with your adult child is that they never contact you again? This is the psychiatrist. These are some OGs, man. These psychiatrists and psychologists, this is a boss man or lady. The psychiatrist told this mom, your best outcome and hope should be that this child don't contact you. But this psychopathic child is dangerous to his mother. See, being a mother and father does not involve your children killing you. The mother and father is a separate human being that has a right not to be killed by their own child. So this psychiatrist is right. This psychopathic son in this particular article, he's so horrible that the psychiatrist is telling the mother that the best outcome she could possibly have is for him not to contact her no more. So it may seem messed up, Affenshaw, because you made a comment it's messed up, but it's so true. My potentially undiagnosed psychopath, I don't let him in my residence at all. I don't let him in my residence, and I no longer meet with him. Last September, he justifies the fact that his girlfriend put her fist in my side. Daniel and I went over there to my undiagnosed psychopathic son's home, and his girl put her fist in my side, and for about a year of it, he laughed and giggled about it and made fun of the minor injury that I had for 2 weeks of her putting her big old white fist in my side. My undiagnosed psychopathic son made fun of it. So when I was reading this article yesterday, I could truly relate to what the psychiatrist is saying. See, this is a good psychiatrist. The psychiatrist doesn't want the psychopathic child to murder his mother, and he doesn't want the mother harmed. So this is what the psychiatrist said. So the mom says, can you imagine looking through a stack of saved papers relating to your child and finding articles with titles like What Drives Emotional Abuse and How to Begin to Recover? This mom says, can you imagine needing to talk to your boss to alert them that they might be receiving an anonymous and malicious complaint about you from your adult child? See, a psychopathic child cannot have a weak ass parent. You know, she got to be able to tell her son, you know, fuck off. Call my job if you want to. I'm gonna call the police on your ass. So see, the parents do contribute to it because there's no discipline. You're always the disciplinary of your child. It said the reason I was so happy and relieved to be told at last that my child wasn't normal was that I finally knew that there was an explanation for the horrible way my child treated me. This is from an anonymous mom. Unfortunately, the explanation was that my child is psychopathic. See, she didn't make him this way. He's born. Now, I do believe if the child is psychopathic, they need a certain type of parent. Like, for example, for my undiagnosed psychopathic relative, he does not need a parent that lets him abuse and do what he want to do. Psychopathic children and adults, they need parents that actually put up a boundary, okay, so that the psychopath is protected too. So that way they don't kill the family or harm somebody. This mom says in this article, I didn't know that at the time, but looking back at family photos, I see that the facial expression my child wears in almost all of them is haughty, arrogant, and hostile, almost never a real smile. Who would want to make these faces or make such faces? And you can go back normally with psychopathic children, you can go back and look at those photos, and they'll be the only child on the photo that's looking miserable or not smiling. So that is a thing for sure. So this mom says, now I know the answer. A child who is fundamentally callous, who does not have normal emotions like joy and love, who can hurt people without experiencing any remorse. It was frustrating and difficult when they were still young, but having an adult child with psychopathy is all about fear, sometimes even terror. Now, I don't think it's healthy for a parent to let their psychopathic child know that they're fearful. Okay. I think it's healthy to let your psychopathic child know that their behavior is not respectful. But I never let a psychopathic child think that I fear them. I tell this psychopathic child, come on and bring your bitch ass over here. Okay. And see what happened to you, dog. So see, going back to what Afin Shaw said, it's all about discipline. I agree with Afin Shaw. So Afin Shaw said, if a child is bad mannered, blame the parents, not the child. Yeah. That's true, because when you got a psychopathic child, you should handle this motherfucker. You gave birth to him. He or she came out of your nutsack, which means the dad gave the sperm for this fucker to be born. So the thing is, some people have psychopathic children and they're just too scary of a person to have them. But overall, when you have a psychopathic child and they're older, they're 18 and up, they shouldn't be in the home. They are dangerous to have in the home, and they can cause tragedy. So this mom says, now I know the answer. A child who is fundamentally callous, who does not have normal emotions like joy and love, who can hurt people without experiencing any remorse. It was frustrating and difficult when they were still young. But having an adult child with psychopathy is all about fear, sometimes even terror. Emotional fear of my child. I just talked about that. It's not normal to be in fear of your child. That's very abnormal. That's one of the things that happened to Jeffrey Dahmer when he was murdering people. His father was in heavy fear of him, and it doesn't help their disorder. A psychopathic child needs a parent that say, come on with it. What you gonna do, dog? I'm ready. And then they calm down and they act better, okay? That's how I deal with my psychopathic relatives that are undiagnosed, the one I was telling you about. So fear of their constant seething anger, their withering and never-ending insults. Yeah, psychopathic children do insult you a lot. They call you fat, nappy-headed, tell you got a flat ass, you ugly, don't no man want you. Psychopathic children talk real bad to their parents. And it's nothing that usually they have parents that have taught them to be mannerable. The parent, so you can teach them to be mannerable, but you can't make them follow it. You do not have control of a psychopathic child. You cannot control this person once they get of age. It's just like Eric Bennett, the young psychopathic teenager. He's in prison now, but Eric Bennett was a psychopath, and he was 12 or 13 or whatever, and he killed his little sister that was 4. So okay, this mom says, this is this article I'm reading to you. This mom says, fear of their constant seething anger, their withering and never-ending insults. My child didn't like my voice, my cooking style, and the way I cleaned the house. They don't like your voice. Stop talking to the fucker. You don't like my voice? Okay, I'm gonna stop talking to your ass. You don't like my cooking? I'm gonna stop cooking for your ass. Go find you some food, dog. You 18 or 20. Stop catering to these fuckers. So it goes back to what Afin Shaw said. If the child is not mannerable, it's somewhat the parent's fault. The parent is enabling this child to be an asshole. My child didn't like my voice. This is what the article says. This mom is saying, my child didn't like my voice, my cooking style, the way I cleaned the house, and other things I've tried to forget. I don't know what it is with psychopathic children, but several I've heard of hate the sound of their parents' voices. There were other forms of put downs, for example, telling me other people didn't like me and can I see that? Yeah, and the undiagnosed psychopath in my family does that as well. He tells me people don't like me. I say, I don't give a fuck, long as I like me. I like me and stay away from my crib. That's all I got to say. I don't care if a psychopath likes me or not. This is someone that doesn't have a conscience, right? So why would I expect them to like me? That's not an emotion they have. Okay, so the article says, and it's not accidental. There's malicious intent, which is true. Psychopaths do have malicious intent. I remain in physical fear of my child. And she shouldn't be remaining in fear, because why ain't you got this child out and why ain't you called the police? If you're remaining in physical fear of the child, is this child still in her house? Has she not called the police on this child? Because I called the police on my undiagnosed psychopath like the police was his daddy. Okay, so this mom says fear that they would try to kill me, and even an idea of how they would do it. Fear of speaking up to anyone about my experiences. This is this anonymous mom, y'all. This is not my case. Fear of speaking up to anyone about my experiences, admitting to anyone that I'm afraid of my own adult child, fear of being accused by other people of having created the psychopathy myself. And that's the ignorance people will have. They will actually think that it's something that the parent did to this fucker. Whereas I know that I'm the victim of it and not the cause. Yeah, thank you, Affinshaw. And I'm getting ready to get to your comment too after I read this. Fear of my child's false claims that they are scared of me, fear of the fake crying, the manipulation of therapists. Affinshaw and everyone, in my lives, I will have recordings of the undiagnosed psychopath in my lives. So if you go back through my last few lives, I will have a recording of how I handle that. I'll try to put one in the description box here. There's one particular recording that was just over a week ago, and the psychopath was threatening me, and I got bouncy with it, right? Fear of them lying about me to others, the last of which is so humiliating and disgraceful. The false claims that I was an abusive parent, which I believe they love to say since it garnered so much attention, was so vile. Yes, psychopathic children will reverse it and say you abuse them without evidence, and their story won't make sense. But they will claim that they were so abused, and they will make up lies on the parents. Psychopathic children will lie on their parents. And I'm talking about a whole lie. This mom says fear of criticisms, of the panic attacks that she's had, a result of the way her child treated her. So you got to basically look at it like this. This mom gave birth to her abuser. She did not abuse this psychopath. She just gave birth to the devil, okay? And demons can be put in angels, okay? This mom says she's found herself wishing that there was a mistake at the hospital, that somebody could convince me that this child isn't my biological child. The fact that my body produced this child feels like such a betrayal. How could my own body produce a person who would grow up to abuse me? That's because he has his dad's sperm. He is what his father is. What I suspect with this case, this lady doesn't sound like the abuser. The father is. The father implanted abusive sperm in her. Okay. From his nutsack, he gave her some bad sperm. Okay. It's like a concoction going wrong. This mom is blaming herself too much for this, in my opinion. So this mom says, this is an anonymous mom, says, I have reluctantly come to realize my child doesn't feel any true affection for me. I was a prop, a tool to get other people's attention, to become the center of attention, which they crave. Sounds like there's no man around her protecting her. And if a psychopathic son knows that, he'll get worse and stronger with her, more abusive. So this mom says, if you have the misfortune to be the parent of a psychopathic child, I know you will recognize elements of your own stories in mine. So I agree with her on that. I can totally relate to what she's saying. You will meet people who will doubt your story. I've gone through that as well. But many people come back to me and apologize once they learn and watch more things that the person is doing, or doubt that you tried your hardest to be a good parent, or both. They will think you caused your child's problems and that you're getting what you deserve. That's really sad. Wow. So this anonymous mom says, I want to make sure you know that there are others out there like you. I am like you. Parents like me understand how demoralizing raising a child with psychopathy often is. So this mom says, sure, there are potential treatments, and sure, your adult child might improve over time. Emphasis on might. But until that happens, I am so sorry to say that the best thing you can do to help and protect yourself is to stop wishing for emotional closeness of any kind with your child. The best thing you can hope for, and the best way to protect yourself from being a target, is to have minimal contact with your child. Specifically, number one, I would never let myself be alone with my child for fear of what they might do or what they might say I did. Let me read that again. This mom says, specifically, I would never let myself be alone with my child for fear of what they might do or what they might say I did. I agree with that. If your child is psychopathic and they behave like they have no conscience, and a court has said they're an undiagnosed psychopath, then you should not be alone with this child. They're a big child now. So I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I live my life this way. Okay. Number two, this mom says, I would never take part in family therapy with my child. There's a good chance that they will manipulate the therapist, and it's a chance I don't want to take. I confess to this too. Entering therapy is the psychopath's war zone, and this is where they will commit the psychological warfare on you, and this is where the therapist will turn on you, because psychopaths are very charming, and the therapist will believe this motherfucker. So the therapy that a psychopathic child needs is they can go get their own therapy, which usually they won't, but sometimes they will if they're at shelters and stuff. But the therapy they need is for their parent to discipline them and to say, you can't come in the crib no more, dog. See, because what you don't want to do is feed the behavior. The hope should be that even if a child is a psychopathic child, the goal should be for them to function in society again. And that could mean they need to function without the parent, but you don't want to feed their behavior. Number three, this mom says, this is an anonymous mom. She says, I never contact my child unless they contact me first. I always reply promptly, but I never initiate. Yeah, and she's smart to do that. When you initiate contact with a psychopathic child, they're in a horrible mood and they are just attacking you. It's constant missiles they're launching on you. That's all. So over time, she used to initiate contact with her son. This woman loves her son. Don't get me wrong. But she's learned over time not to initiate contact, which means she's contacting this little fucker first. And that's a good thing not to initiate it. And it's good for the child that she still accepts his call. That's what a decent mom would do with a psychopathic son. At least she's taking his call. Now, will this psychopathic son of hers reward her for it? No. He just look at it like she just nobody. Okay. Okay. Now this mom says the failure to implement these measures could potentially be very costly to you, the parent, emotionally, financially, or even physically. So what this mom is saying is, if you don't do these 3 things I just named, it's going to cost you. And I'm going to add, it can cost you your life too. I'm adding that. As a parent, it's hard to admit, but some adult children are difficult in such a way that parents have to prioritize protecting themselves. Yes. And a lot of people will not think that as a mother or father that you have a right to protect yourself from this demonic spirit that this parent brought in the world. Yeah, they won't think that you have that right. They sure won't. And that's the sad part about it. But hopefully that article helped. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying, originally this started about narcissists and text messaging part 5. But what I like about these lives is that I talk about other things that come up too. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the narcissist and text messaging part 5, he gaslit. Are you okay? I'm getting concerned. I'm about to send the police to your house for a welfare check. This is how you got to look at these kind of narcissists and text messaging part 5 here on this video. I'd rather deal with the police than deal with this unaware narcissist. Oh, this is the longest time you watched a live stream, Affinshaw. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my lives are interesting. Yeah. I got my favorite YouTubers, Victoria Unfiltered, Ringo TV. I have my favorite YouTubers where with Ringo TV, I can be on a 7-hour live. I'm telling you, his stuff be real interesting. It sure does. So, yeah. So that's the thing. And thank you for hanging in here with me. Yeah, because I be saying, and you know, I'm gonna be honest. I think my other lives is even better than this one, Affinshaw. Yeah. See, here you get the attention you deserve too. You deserve attention when you're on lives, not just giving it out. And that's one of the things I like about having a small channel is that I can give you the attention. But this unaware narcissist that done abused all these women, we just gonna say he a psychopath. Affinshaw and y'all. This is call this man a psychopath. I'm gonna send the police. Okay, send them. I never let them come to my house. Where you gonna send them to? The police gonna tell them to kick rocks. She fine, man. She don't want to talk to you. Miss Irene fine. If something wrong with her sons, her cousin, her friends, or people in the area, the church will call. If I come up missing, my pastor gonna look for us eventually. But this was basically a threat. And I told you his motive. His motive was to assert control. I've declined him for over 5 years. I wouldn't let him provoke me. And he wants me arrested, y'all. He don't want the police to do no welfare check on me. You got to learn to read passive aggressive language. This man don't give a fuck about me. Look at all these women he abused. He said he was happy that his ex-dog died. He happy that a little puppy died. And this was a little tiny puppy she had. Now she got the big old dogs, like pit bull looking dogs. But at the time he met the ex in 2017, she had a little bitty cute little puppy. He was happy her dog died. He said it just like that. He said, I was happy her dog died. He's a psychopath, no conscience. He would feel the same way if something happened to my kids. This motherfucker wants the police to arrest me. This is actually a borderline threat. He might be saying subconsciously, he gonna call the police and lie on me. This is a borderline threat. You might be able to view it like that. I'm not gonna contact this man. He can't tell if I read this text. Remember, I told y'all, click on the little dots and click on don't send read confirmation. Yeah, he ain't got a happy life, Affinshaw. So Affinshaw says, guys like that doesn't get a good, happy life. All he's getting is properties. He's in a fucking damn near mini mansion, 5-bedroom house that's over about 4,000 square feet, something like that. And no motherfucker comes in there. Yeah, nobody comes in his freaking house. So, yeah, he's constantly hunting for supply. See, the difference between him and me is I don't need the supply. See, I'm not hunting for victims. I'm not hunting for victims. I'm really not. I don't need victims like that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on. He needs to hunt for victims and I don't. Hold on, y'all. Daniel, say bye to the YouTubers. I'm going to post one of Daniel's videos in the description box as well. He just did a great video.
Thank you. Goodbye, YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate you for listening. Keep listening or I'll come for you.
My son Daniel said he'll come for you. He just cracks jokes like that. He's so funny. But you know what? Whenever he threatens YouTubers, like they better like, share, and subscribe, they actually do it, y'all. Okay. And then this unaware narcissist want to call the police like we some punk asses over here. Ain't nobody did shit to me. Talking about do a welfare check to make sure I'm safe. Please. This is crazy. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm coming right back. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Thank you so much for being patient. Yeah, I ended up on this live a little longer. So thank you for, I'm so happy that y'all waited. Yeah, I promise y'all come right back. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Affinshaw, goodbye. Have a great day. You'll be on my other lives. Check out the other lives. You'll be back here. So I appreciate you tuning in. And it was so nice to meet you, Affinshaw. I feel very blessed to meet you. And coming here will help you. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's just how it worked. You know, I talked about on the last Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 4 that this unaware narcissist would most likely not assert control again through text messaging. But he went back to trying to assert it through text messaging when I didn't answer those 2 calls. He called me Saturday at 6:45 p.m. and he called me yesterday. When I didn't answer those calls, he said getting the police on me. And keep in mind, y'all, it's been times where he's called me once or twice over the weekend and I didn't answer for over a month or 2. So there's no way, in no way does this unaware narcissist believe that something has happened to me. He does not believe something has happened to me, and he also does not care if anything has happened to me. This is the truth of the matter. So y'all, I appreciate you so much. So when an unaware narcissist or any narcissist or psychopath, when they're saying they're about to send the police to your house, I've never even allowed them to visit my place. How you gonna be sending the police? Sometimes it's appropriate, y'all. I had a friend from high school that checked on me, and he actually sent the police to my mailbox to check on me. And he did a check on me, and I ended up contacting him, and I was just fine. But that wasn't appropriate. That was appropriate. When my high school friend went to go check on me, he's way in St. Louis, but he did a welfare check. Me and him would talk every day during that time before he went back to work and got sick. We was talking every day, and he was way in St. Louis, Missouri. So that checking on me was appropriate because at that time I had the undiagnosed psychopath around. But there's no need to think that anything has happened to me. And he's insinuating that my sons would do something to me, and they just would not. They're not going to do anything to me. Isaiah and Daniel love me a lot. They're not going to hurt me. And the beef that me and Daniel had, the beef that we had going on, we worked that out, man. Me and Daniel, we mended that. But Daniel's not acting like he doesn't have a conscience. He's not behaving like a psychopath, like the middle son is. Okay. So, but I agree. Everything in that article, not having that psychopath around, not initiating phone calls with the psychopath and stuff like that. What I did not like about the article, she mentioned a psychiatrist, but she also didn't mention a lot about getting the police on them. And if there's any chance for her psychopathic son to make any small improvements over time, it's going to have to be with police interaction and probation interaction. She didn't mention anything about the police. A lot of moms and mothers will not call the police on their psychopathic sons or daughters. So that was a weakness in the article. That does not mean she hasn't, but there's no mention of it. There's a lot of mention of her psychopathic son insults and stuff like that, but there's really no mention of the police being involved, and that's who needed to be involved. Even when her psychopathic son is consistently insulting her, she should be contacting the police, or the police might have been involved, and that's who told her to stop allowing him in the house. But in her case, it sounds like the psychiatrist gave a lot of advice. The psychiatrist said your best outcome is if he never called you again or contact you. Them psychiatrists something else, boy. Boy, you talk about telling the truth. So please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all coming in on the live. This is Narcissist. This is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 5. Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 5, y'all. Love y'all. Thank you, Afin Shaw, and for everyone that contributed in the chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Bye.